Hello, good evening. How's everybody doing tonight? Thanks for hanging out while we explore the end, the beginning of the end of Wizardry 7, Crusaders of the Dark Savant. So, last night's stream was a little interesting because we reached a point in the game. We're about to set sail on a boat, and we're about to go to the last three areas in the entire game. But before we set off on this journey, um, I wanted to make sure that I had all of the items, all of the maps and things that I needed, and I realized I was one map short. And we went on a little quest to try to obtain that map. Um, Speaking with NPCs and using the lore function in the game, we learned that the map was held by one particular NPC. And then when we went to go talk to him, he was missing. And that's when I realized, what happened. I realized that this particular NPC, there's a point in the game's story where if you've reached a certain point, this NPC will leave. He leaves the planet actually, um, and that's what happened. But he left the planet with the map in his possession, and that actually puts you in a situation where if this, the situation, if the scenario plays out like that, then you're in a situation where you actually cannot finish the game. These days, I feel like that kind of thing would be identified and patched out rather quickly. But back in the old days, um, they didn't really care as much. Or when development on a game was over, it was pretty much over. Um, by the time this game-breaking bug came to light, there was no interest in correcting it. So rather than waste all of the time that we've gotten to up to this point, or rather than starting the game over again and sitting through another 40 something episodes, 40 something hours of streaming, um, I did something that I normally wouldn't do, but I did it for the sake of the stream, and that is I went and used an editor to add that map to the inventory of an existing NPC in the game, and then we obtained it that way. So there are workarounds for when you get locked out like that if you're intuitive enough, if you know how to do it. In this case, I used an editor called the Cosmic Forge editor, which is basically not so much a character editor for the game, but a data file editor actually. And I went in and put the map on another NPC, and we obtained it that way. So, again, not something I like to do, but for the sake of the stream, I'm not going to leave everybody hanging with an unwinnable game. So that's where we're at, and that's what happened last night. So if you want to see that, last night's is the episode to go back and watch. But here we are, and let's take a look at that item, by the way. It's right here, the legend map. This was the map in question. And it doesn't really say a whole lot when you look at it, but it will come in handy later. So here we are, and we are ready to set sail on the sea. Before we do that, we'll do a quick little rest up here. We're not in dire straits or anything, but we'll just top off a couple things. All right. So let's get some of our buffs up because we're going to need them. Because I am not 100% sure which direction we actually want to go. South, I know. It's been a long time. And I don't remember everything. So here we are. We are on the boat. So let's do this. Let's go as south as we can. Let's see what happens. Now there's a few things to do on the boat here. There is the Brombadag. There is the legendary sea monster that only appears at a full moon. So you see the moon in the background. I think we're maybe almost there. Wow, what a big fight right off the bat. So there's the chance to encounter him, which is something we want to do. And then there's a few spots that we want to check out also. But we're just going to see where this kind of goes, I think. So that took out quite a few of them. But there's still quite a few left, too. But I think we can probably just burn our way through this. Alright, so is this new land? It does look like new land. I see a wall here. What is this? Oh, I see a couple. Interesting. So little islands is what I'm seeing here. We'll see what these islands are all about. I have no memory of these little islands from previous playthroughs. Man, here we go. They're starting to get nasty now. Pretty sure we can knock it out this round, though. So let's go back to the boat. Let's sail around these islands. Let's do that. Get kind of an outline of them. Some blackbirds. You know, if there is ever an old school RPG that I'd like to have, I'd like to see have a modern update, it'd be this one. Little convenience things like maybe, you know, being able to program in a preferred, you know, series of attacks that you could just fire off with, you know, one button. That'd be really cool. Just some little modern updates. I'm going to rest up the stamina here. Let's save. Oh wow. So not a terribly large encounter, but it's spread out. I hate these things when they do this. Hate it when they do this. So we're going to, we will do a nuke blast. We'll just do a level 2. Just to soften everybody up. Here we go. So we have two PCs that are able to attack. Danny Thresh says, hello. Hey, Danny. How's it going? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good weekend. I think here in a little bit when the sun goes down and when I'm finished with this stream, I'm going to go start a fire out back and sit down and sit around by the fire with the dogs and just kind of chill out the rest of the evening. Come on. Let me be able to do something here, guys. Come on. These numbers. Oh, you cannot. Oh, you can. I say. For a second, I thought it was not going to let me rest. What do we got? A paralyzation there. Right. So, a series of islands. And you know there's something to them, right? I mean, they're here for a reason. I'm going to map the perimeter of them. This one seems kind of big in comparison to the others. Now that looks almost like a little inlet, doesn't it? Man, I do not like these moths. They're aggravating. Do one of these. Try to take them out that way. Let's see. That didn't do anything this time. Ah, look here. On the inner wall of the stone pillars, hewn in the rock, you gaze upon the intricate carving of a most unusual creature. It looks like a woman and a little like a cat, with a tad of lizard thrown in, surrounded by feathery plumage resembling that of a peacock. The carving is very elaborate, and every detail of the creature seems so lifelike that it's almost as if the creature itself had become trapped within the stone. Huh. What do we think this is? Let's look at some of our maps for clues. So again, I don't think there's any clue to it here. A sphinx, maybe? From a bed of salt upon a pool of churning water, sea of chaos, which is, I think, where we are. So lichen, sea of strange voices. Huh, okay. So it's about the dawn, a serpent. So let's try some random items here. Just see if anything elicits a response. Just trying a little bit of everything. I'm sure whatever this is for, it'll become clear eventually. Yeah, nothing. Okay. We'll remember the location and come back. There's definitely something there. Let's go this way. Oops. Again, still just going to map the perimeter a little bit. so that seems to be the island cluster. Look, it's a full moon. That's Brombadag time, isn't it? I wonder what we have to do to spawn him. Flower OUC. I'm going to keep sailing south. We have some more islands here. Okay, so I see some more smaller islands here. And it looks like maybe a coastline. Very frequent encounters here. Let's do a perimeter on this. Man. Sometimes these encounters are just downright aggravating. The frequency of them. Oh, looky here. It's like a river? No. Man, come on. Oh, Kyler leveled up. Quite a few bonus points to distribute too. Let's save. It's a pretty good level up. Some more annoying piranhas. We're going to nuke blast them because they're spread out. Do level 4. That'll take quite a bit of my fire magic points, but it'll be okay. Leaves us with one. So yeah, just following the coastline here. I'm trying to get a perimeter. 8 jelly stingers. Ice ball does pretty good on these guys. So this takes us back to the big islands there, or the little islands there. Encounter after encounter. Oh, what's this? A mist. Let's see what it is. Ahead lies a dense white fog, and through it can be heard the sounds of the sea crashing against the shore, or possibly just a rocky reef. Okay, I think if we sail over the reef, if I remember right, I think it can hurt the party. Maybe not. We found the Dragon Mountains, though. The sea butts up against the barren cliffs of the Dragon Mountains, a treacherous cove with no safe harbor. In the darkness, you can see the light of a distant lantern. What is that? But whether to warn sailors of deadly reefs or to lure them in upon them, you cannot tell. Near the shining light, you see it isn't a lantern at all, but a hunk of glowing phosphor embedded into the face of the cliff. Invisible by day, the phosphor radiates brightly in the dark of the midnight sky. Interesting. The ship glances off a shallow reef, heaving everyone onto the deck. So this is what I was referring to. Minor damage. So that's Dragon Mountain over there. That's where we want to be. That's where we want to be. So how do I dock here? Phosphor, you know what? No. The phosphor in the mountain. Let's look at the, since we're at Dragon Mountain, we'll look at the at one of the maps here in a second after this fight. My allergies are getting to me today. Okay, let's see what kind of clues we can discern here. So this was the boat map. That was how we got to, that was the clue for the puzzle. Let's see. Inside the Dragon's Lair, doth man wander pursue fulfillment. Interesting. So we're going to rest up here because people are getting kind of low. What do we got? Sounds like more piranha. 3 piranha sharks. Oh. Poor Danny. All right, let's go ahead and fix that. This will be the first time we get to use Resurrection. Alright, another quick rest. At least to get Danny's stamina up. I know we're in the right spot. I've just got to figure out what we have to do here. The dragon map didn't really tell us much. Okay. So this spot right here. This is something. Hunk of glowing phosphor embedded into the face of the cliff. Darker than midnight sky. Alright, let's try using some items. Phosphor. Wow, okay, I really didn't expect it. Taking the serpentine staff and holding it high in front of you, the glowing rock, you discover that the phosphor chunk is not here by an act of nature, by design. So I knew that the coil of the serpent was important, but I forgot that you use it here. But I guess it makes sense, being Dragon Mountain or Dragon Cave, or whatever you want to call it. I actually was thinking it was going to be the polished steel. Okay, so where do we dock? Right here. Okay, so here we are. One of the end game, well, not want to say end game, but one of the final areas. We're going to do a big rest here. Alright, that should be good. Let's get some spells going. Oopsie. So one thing I want to show you, Wizard Eye. We talked about it. It's a spell that I really don't have a need for since we've got the auto map going. Let me just show you what it does while I'm looking at it. It creates a mini-map on the screen, which is identical to what we have here. So it's a good mapping aid. So we are sort of cheating with our auto map, but the purpose for the auto map here is not so much for me as it is for the viewer. But yeah, in case you're wondering, these graphics are not drawn by the auto map that I'm using, but it is rendered by the game itself. So, I'll say this, I have no memory what this area is. I've played this game several times before, but I have very little recollection of any of this. Wow, okay, so that's a lot. Well, it sounds like company has arrived. Okay, so I apologize. This is where I'm going to have to probably cut this short tonight. Unexpected visitors to the homestead. But we're going to save the game right here. And this is where we will pick up tomorrow night. So the plan for tomorrow is to explore Dragon Mountain, Dragon Island, Dragon Cave, whatever you want to call it. We're going to explore this area as much as possible in an hour, hour and a half that we're going to have. Tonight's stream was probably only about 45 minutes, and I apologize for that. But like I said, I had plans for later in the evening, but it looks like they've shown up a little early. So, I've got to go ahead and take care of that. But we got a little bit accomplished tonight. Found some cool things. Set sail on the waters and found our next location to explore. And that's what we'll do when we pick back up. I hope you guys had a great weekend, and I'll see everybody tomorrow night.